G'day fellas, and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the north side of the map, or I guess more the northwest side of the map. Playing as the Malians in the color blue. It's Vortex. And on the southeast side of the map, in the color yellow, playing as the English, watch out ladies and gentlemen, it's Beastie Cutie. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 2 in this series. If you don't want to have the result of the first game spoiled, then make sure you turn away from the monitor now, or just change the channel, or just go back and watch the first game, because Vortex is up 1-0 in this series right now. The winner of this series will go through to the grand finals and will face off against Lucifron, who is the upper bracket grand finalist. I guess the upper bracket grand finalist. Yeah, I guess you got an upper bracket grand finalist and a lower bracket grand finalist. It makes sense. It makes sense. So we got ourselves an exciting series. We got ourselves an exciting match. I'm looking forward to it because this is a matchup I have a lot of trouble with. English against the Malians. So I'm going to be taking notes here. So excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, while I get my pen, my paper, and I am watching exactly what Beastie is up to. Now, for anybody wondering, this is indeed part of Golden League 2. Golden League 2 is available at your local Twitch browser, your local internet browser, twitch.tv/EGCTV, every weekend, Saturday and Sunday at 15 GMT or 10 AM Eastern, so make sure you check it out. Other than that, let's talk a little bit about this. So we've got ourselves a pretty standard English start. No men-at-arms, no sign of early aggression coming down on this gold vein, and there's a pretty good reason why. It's highly likely that we see a landmark getting thrown down back here. And of course, that landmark is going to be none other than the Saharan Trade Network. It's going to do very well at protecting this position here. Interestingly, I do note that the house on this corner is still technically here. And normally you'd see it over there. That way the Saharan Trade Network can go here and the villages are protected by the town center. But it might not be the case that we see that, but I suspect we probably will. 6 houses is the standard and the way that I like to go, especially when I'm going for fast castle. So do we see Fruimba Garrison here? Probably. It's possible. It's likely that we see a fast castle, but we might also see a feudal play. We've seen it before. And that's one of the things that scares me, especially from the English perspective. And Beastie going to be going with his classic build order here. I've seen this one a million times before. Don't you worry. Now, the question is, does he bring the villager over from food over to the council hall? Doesn't look like he's doing that one. This isn't the patented build order. This is a secret one he's been keeping for this game right here over on the other side of the map. It is going to be Saharan Trade Network, but look where he's gone and put this one. So I guess Vortex at this point doesn't actually know if he was against the men-at-arms, but just kind of knew that they would be here earlier if he was against them. So I think even at this point, it'd be still an easy cancel for him. If you had the men-at-arms and you spotted this, you wouldn't want to run in straight away. You'd kind of want to wait until it was about halfway, and then he's really got to make a decision about whether he cancels or not. But yeah, Vortex playing a bit of a dangerous game, going for a bit of a greedy position here with the Saharan Trade Network. And remember, trade is always going to be an option on a map like this. Just remember, when it comes to the trading posts, they're not always in the best spots. They're a little bit far forward here. So it means that if you want to go for trade, you're going to have to wall off this whole area and then like maybe get the traders to come up. Yeah, that actually makes sense. Like you wall down towards this gold mine and then across. I could live with that. I think that's fine. Remember, there's no stone walls in this game mode. So if we take a look at Vortex's villages, no stone walls, no keeps. Can't build them. It's not allowed and it's not possible. So you can try and build them. It ain't going to work though. All right, well, council halls coming up slowly for Beastie. So no Abbey of the Kings going to be happening. Of course, we've been seeing quite a fair bit of Abbey of the Kings shenanigans. Actually, I say we've been seeing a fair bit. That's not true. We haven't been seeing any much at all. Maybe they have to reduce the price of the king down. Like maybe bring him down from 150, 150 to 120, 120. I don't know. What do you guys reckon? Council hall seems really good, though. And I think that, like, even if you didn't change the council hall to get access to crossbows and hand cannoneers, the council hall's still really good. I don't think that it really... It's hard, right? Because, man, the council is such a great landmark, dude. I love this landmark. I still think this is like the S+ tier landmark. It's up there with Golden Gate. It is incredibly good. But we'll take a look in the base of Beastie, or rather of the base of Vortex right now, when we do see the mill going to be coming down. So he's going to be looking to gather up a little bit of excess gold here, convert that into food. And Beastie just looking to spot what he can. Looks like it's going to be a fast castle play. He hasn't spotted double scout from his enemy. He hasn't seen warrior scouts. So he is probably suspecting that. And he will confirm now. 5 vills on gold. That's a great indication. Highly likely fast castle. So where does he go from here? What does he look to do? already we can see that he is taking stone. A lot of villagers on stone on Beastie's side of the map. He's up to 8 vills. So we'll be looking to expand a second town center. Now, when it comes to second town centers, this is a great spot, but it is in the front of your base. And the problem is, like, it's really nice because you get the deer patch. You also protect the gold. But if you... Oh, jeez. I mean, I called it, right? Like I said, this is a really good spot, but it's in the front of the base. You know, I feel like I'm foreshadowing here. The thing is, this game is live. Like, we're live right now. I'm casting this game at 2:30 in the morning. There you go, 2:34 in the morning. We are live, so I've got no idea what happens this game, but I'm just going to say it now. This is scary. Putting a town center down this far forward as the English, I would not tell any of my students in the coaching that I do to do this. I'd be like, look, it's a really good spot, but let's go safe between the gold and the wood line. All right, Beastie, you're playing on the edge. I respect it, though. I respect it. On the other side of the map, though, wheelbarrow going to be coming through for Vortex. He's got an excess of gold here, so he says, I'll get the wheelbarrow. Probably look for a cattle or two as an option for himself, which I do respect. And we also see the javelin thrower going to be coming out. Obviously, going to be looking to deal with this early aggression coming out. The longbows heading across the field. I feel like I've seen this before. Hold on a minute. Where did the other longbows go? Oh, there they are. You cheeky little longbows. Look at these bad boys right here. I was trying to work out where they were, but look at that. This is just... Isn't this just like the classic case of greedy? I mean, I called this Saharan Trade Network greedy. Had it been like positioned right here, then it covers, but it doesn't cover. Javelin thrower will have to do it. Now, the thing is, there's not a real big impact by going for this javelin thrower. You do delay the gold collection, but you just add an extra vill over to it, right? Like, he's got 4 vills. He'll probably go up to 6 out here just to make sure he does have enough gold when he's aging up. To be honest, he's probably going to be fine with 4. But he would have gone into the archery range anyway, right? Like, even if you drop the Farimba garrison behind the TC, you still want the archery range just to get that upgrade. So I think this is absolutely fine by him. Let's take a look over at the base of Beastie, though, because that second town center is now up. And I suspect... Oh, my God, I don't suspect that. No way in... What? Double stable. And this gets scattered out. Hold on. Does it get scattered out? Vortex comes across. Stable number 1 gets spotted. Stable number 2 gets spotted. He's like, hold on, is Beastie already castle? There's no way. He just put the second TC down. He can't possibly be transitioning to castle age right now. What is this for? Because that's your first thought, right? Like, you're thinking, okay, double stable. It's got to be a classic case of he's just preparing for knights. But it's so early on in the game, and this should be going towards farms. Is it that he's baiting his enemy? Surely he's not baiting his enemy. He's like, I'm actually going to be going into double horsemen. Psych. Is that what this is? Because he's got the resources for it, right? Like, it could very much be that he's putting this down and almost saying, like, hey, don't make full javelins. If you do, I'm going to destroy you. Like, that could be the case. And there's the Farimba garrison coming down. And if so, is this an actual 900 IQ bait right here? Because, look, he's not doing anything with it. I think this might be the case. So, Beastie coming out with some big plays. You know, I remember, and I talk about this quite often, somebody asked the mister, like, how do you beat Marine Lord? And he's like, there's one trick to beating Marine Lord. You got to show him a whole bunch of production, and then you don't make anything from it. And I think this is exactly it, right? Like, Vortex is going to react to this, and we do see the barracks coming down now by Vortex. So I think what's so smart about this from Beastie is he's threatening the feudal age. Vortex doesn't really know if it's a threat or if it's not a threat. But he has to respect it anyways. And ideally in this position, Vortex just wants to go heavy on the javelin throwers, right? Like, he wants to go up to 20 javelin throwers and then maybe throw in a couple of Musafadi and then eventually switch into Sofa. He doesn't want to have to make donzos. Don't force me to make donzos, but when you show me two stables in the feudal age that early, I'm going to have to make donzos. And that's exactly what he does. He starts off with 5 donzos. So really nice play there by Beastie. I'm going to give credit where credit is due. That is beautiful. Well done by Beastie. He's going to be very happy with that. And of course, we still don't see a single horseman on the field, and he does transition slowly over to farms, but he hasn't needed to, right? Like, he's taken this deer pack, and that's going to be more than enough to carry him up. Now, where does he go from here? Does he go White Tower? This could be a good option. The way the vills are moving are making me think he's going White Tower. These vills looking a bit more like a King's Palace, though. So he could be sitting up on 3 TCs, which would be pretty nice up against the 1 TC of his opponent. Keep in mind, there is always the option for trade on this map. We've talked about it before, but especially with the Saharan Trade Network, it is one of those things that you just have to always keep in the back of your mind because it is a constant threat. So Beastie on the 3 TCs. I love the position of that, of this King's Palace as well. Securing up the gold. Outpost on the front line just in case any javelin throwers do get any ideas. But I think the other thing to note is Vortex he's playing a little bit scared, isn't he? You know, like for me, normally when you're watching a Malian player at this point, he's just pushing out of his base. He's very happy to do so. He's not scared. He's not fearful. But he's scared. He's very scared. He's like, where are these horsemen? I know I'm just gonna. He thinks he's gonna get flanked by like 14 horsemen when he wasn't expecting it. But then he sees the age up 10-18 and he's like, you mother beep. And begins immediately moving out, or at least moving towards the front of his base. It's not too far. Veteran Donzo's coming in. So he is gearing up for the mid-game. The more and more this game goes out, the more I'm liking it for Beastie. And that's kind of wild for me, because as I said, I think this is a matchup that I have trouble with. I know a lot of the people that I coach have trouble with this matchup, mainly because when you're playing Feudal Age, right? Like there's so many things that the Malians can do against you. You want to go for your men at arms? Great, they've got Musafadi. You want to go for your longbows? Great, they've got javelins. It's just like they've got so many answers to the things that you want to throw at them. And so it makes it difficult to play that civilization, especially in the Feudal Age. And in the event that they do get castle, you can just pretty much kiss your any prospect of you fighting them in the Feudal Age at all. I just don't think it's possible. So I like the fact that Beastie's just gone straight into fast castle, and it's a good time as well. Great benchmark. Anyone who's playing along at home, let's see if you can get a castle age as fast as Beastie. Beastie with 3 TCs, 10 minutes and 18. That is super duper quick. Keep in mind, he did look to use and utilize the deer. That's going to save him a lot of time because it means he doesn't need to get that farm transition down as quickly as he normally would, and can subsequently spend the resources on his stables. So there you go. Now, interestingly, we don't see any knights. Interestingly, we don't see any units from Beastie. Beastie, he's going for upgrades right now. He's going for +2 ranged attack. We don't see any units out for him whatsoever at this point. Remember, the TC is on the front. Does Beastie see anything? Where are the scouts? I just saw the scout run out. Did it get annihilated, evaporated, eviscerated? It's not on the field anymore, so it must have. I wasn't paying attention, but there's the forces of his enemy, slowly but steadily increasing in size. We'll ride on board with Vortex and see how he's doing, stacking up 700 wood at the moment. What's he going to be doing with all that wood? He's got 16 vils on wood. He's not going for a farm transition, that's for sure. Could be more production, but he doesn't need more production. It's going to be more production. It's definitely going to be more production. So going to be going into that Sofa. Probably Sofa Musofadi is like the nicest combo that you can do here. The other option that you can always look for is Sofa and Archers. A really nice combo as well. But that's a little bit of production. A little bit. With air quotes. Like, that's an awful lot of production right there. Vortex doing the right thing and pulling all the vils off wood as well. Realizing, you know what? I don't really need that much wood. Scout coming out. Gonna get smacked in the face with a couple of horsemen. And at this point, you're looking at Beastie and you're like, man, where is his army? Is he going fast Imperial? Like, what is he doing? What is he doing over here? Horseman gets one shot. Is he going for a mango? Actually, is there a siege workshop? There's no siege workshop. Where are Beastie's units? I mean, I know he's like fast castle into 3 TCs, but we're 3 minutes after he's aged up, and he's got like 10 longbows. That's not going to cut it, especially when you got veteran javelin throwers now gearing up. 5 armor on these bad boys. Good luck ever trying to cut through that. Donzo's moving forward as well. Remember, you've got that extra health on the King's Palace, the buffed up King's Palace. Going to be very thankful it's got that extra health. Means it's going to be able to stay alive for twice as long in this position. So Beastie definitely going to be happy with that English buff. Now going to be moving up, but remember, longbows here up against the javelin. It's going to be difficult for him to try and take these out. At the same time, these Donzos getting off some big shots towards the backside, and not enough javelin here. This is the consequence of going for that double stable, right? Like, Vortex was just so threatened by that double stable in the early Feudal Age. He's overreacted with so many Donzos, he can't even fight off, like, 10 longbows. It's literally just 10 longbows. He can't even fight them off with the javelins that he's got. And that's crazy to think a 14-minute fast castle Malian player can't fight off 10 longbows with his javelins. What? Very well played by Beastie for keeping himself in the game. And look at the vil difference already. 72 vils up against 47. Let's switch it over now so you guys can see the income difference between these two guys. So you got about 2.2k over on Beastie's side. Over on the other side, about 2k, 2.1k on Vortex's side. So still pretty close when it comes to the economy, despite the stark difference in villager counts. And remember, that's going to keep scaling as the game goes on. But obviously, in the short term, Beastie is spending a lot more resources on villagers than he is on units. And that's going to live to hurt him. And now the Javelins, together with the Donzos, looking to take down this King's Palace on the front line. Tenvilles jump inside. And Beastie going to be looking to try and take out his enemy here. He falls back away from that position, trying to draw away the Donzos. Does start setting that town center on fire. Remember, he's always going to be able to repair it back up, even if he does lose it. And it looks like it is going to be going down, and Beastie going to be able to repel it. The question is whether he's going to get it or not, and it looks like it's going to be close. The villagers do come in, manage to get the repair off in time, and the town center stays alive right now. We are singing the Bee Gees, my friends. And at the same time, the longbows continue teeing off. He gets the repair off. Everybody's happy. Everyone's healing. The TC's still firing. And like a keep in the night, it still stands and still fires, and Beastie's reinforcements now continue coming through. At the same time, more Javelins looking to join the battle. Are they Javelins or are they Archers? Those are Javelins. Well played by Beastie, an absolute clutch villager pull. You could see that Vortex had very much committed to taking down this town center and then had to fall back, realizing that he wasn't going to have the gas to get it down. Very well played from Beastie. Honestly, the timing on that was chef's kiss. Insufficient wood, though. Rare that you hear that coming out from Beastie. All right, well, on the north side of the map, Beastie, he's scouting out. You can see, is this a patrol route? It looks like it could be a patrol route. I suspect it is. Yeah, it's a patrol route. So just doing a little bit of patrolling up here. And a smart move, right? Like, he's just checking for trade. That's it. And he can keep that going forever. On the south side, we're just moving out for a mill. I thought we were moving out for trade down here. I'm like, no way. Beastie's going English trade off 3 TC. This is crazy. No, he's just getting, he's putting a mill down. He's getting some deer. He's not opting for farms. And in fact, he hasn't been farming like crazy. Like realistically, like taking berries. He's moving out and about on the map. Obviously look to take the deer early on. It's a different style of English, and I've got to be honest, I like it. I like this style of English. Basically just saying, well, look, I have a good farm transition, but that doesn't mean I have to transition into farms. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to play that style. Obviously, he gets the walls up. He's still somewhat protected down here on the south side, so it's not a big deal, but we got ourselves a little bit of a rematch. Imported armor for the Sofa Warriors has come through. That means that you've got that extra 2 melee armor, extra 2 ranged armor as well. And now the longbow is going to be looking to tee off. We've got crossbows in on the front as well. They get one shot by the Javelins, and slowly but steadily that King's Palace, it is under pressure. I tell you what, that buff single-handedly saved Beastie right there. And now villagers getting called to action as well. Everybody join in the fray. We need your assistance right now. A few resources being stacked up from Vortex. It could definitely be used right now in this fight. Beastie, on the other hand, a little bit of gold in the bank, but I tell you what, now is not the time for jewelry. Now's the time for food, my friends. Beastie on the absolute run. Sofa Warriors looking to try and take this game by storm. We enter into the cinematic mode because it is time for us to focus down on what is happening here. Javelins just looking to clean this up. It's starting to look a little bit worrisome for Beastie. The Sofa Warriors together with the Javelins. Has Beastie gone for too many villagers in this situation? He's absolutely overwhelmed. The Wallolo over on the east side, it's not going to be enough. He manages to take out the Horseman. It's a swing of a Horseman, and that's going to be a swing of a game because Beastie is losing this one. It's going to be a 2-0 to Vortex, and he moves on to match point in this series. I think it's a best of 5. It might be a best of 3. I'm not even sure right now what one it is, but Vortex takes this 2-0. I'll let you know in the next video because either it's going to be Beastie against Vortex or it's going to be Vortex against his brother Lucifron. But let's take a little bit of a look at that game. Oh my, that was a strike and a half, wasn't it? I think for me, the big thing was like, obviously, it's hard to say, but I just felt like the military count from Beastie. Yeah, look at this. Like, I know he was going for upgrades. As he aged up and he went upgrades, and it's like, I guess the way I think about it is like, you've already got 3 TCs. You're already going to the moon. You don't need to go to Saturn as well. Like, we're going to the moon. It's fine. Just get on board. As long as we're hitting the moon, we're going to be fine. So that for me is like the whole thing about like, let's not go for these upgrades. We've got the 3 TCs. We're going to be scaling on villages anyway. This is one of the things that I always found with China. Like the trap that you fall into with China is there's so many ways for you to boom as China. I can get granaries. I can get Song Dynasty. I can get a second TC. I can get more imperial officials. There's so many things that I can do to increase my economy. And it's like, you don't want to fall into the trap of having too many things going for you at the same time and then neglecting your military, because as we saw right there, the Farimba garrison, when it gets going, and obviously supplemented by those 5 stables that we saw thrown down. Well, it was a very quick ending, wasn't it? Anyway, fellas, I hope you've enjoyed this casted game. Check out EGC TV every weekend, Saturday and Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 2 a.m. Australian time, and 15 GMT. I think I got all those right. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.